Welcome to the seasonal capsule wardrobe analysis, and today we're gonna tackle my full capsule wardrobe because, as you already know, I tracked my outfits for 90 days. But before I jump into the statistics, first I wanted to mention a few things. As I've said, I tracked my outfit for 90 days, but because I don't usually dress up on Sundays, the number of outfits is gonna be a bit lower. And also had a challenge, a full style challenge with my maybe items that I did for 5 days, which again, it's gonna make some of the items a little bit lower in the count. And lastly, as you may already know, I've been tracking my outfits with the Index app on my phone, and unfortunately, they don't really have a custom selection, so the best I could do is to see the data for the last 3 months. So maybe I'm gonna miss an outfit or two, I cannot be sure, but this is the best that I can do. And honestly, I'm really excited about this analysis because I finally figured out how to make a transitional capsule wardrobe work. First, I'm gonna go through all of the data and then I'm gonna share the lessons at the end. And here I have 5 items that I wore only one time. First, I have the turquoise jumper, then I have the baby pink jumper, I have the red turtleneck, I have a plum turtleneck, and lastly, my black off-shoulder jumper. Then these 4 items I wore 2 times. First, I have my white long sleeve tee, then I have just a nude cashmere jumper, I have a beige turtleneck, and just a classic black short cardigan. Now we have more neutral colors, of course. And again, we have even more neutrals. Here I have 3, 6, 8 items that I wore 3 times. The first one is this white bodysuit that I really like. Then I also have this white fitted cami with white straps. I have my silk white button-up. I'm doing my best to show you. Maybe I should put this here. But with my black items, here I have just a t-shirt that I wore 3 times. Then I have the silk button-up that it's a little bit sheer that I wore 3 times. I have just a classic black silk button-up that it's not sheer that I wore 3 times. And then the new jumper that I recently bought, this one has a little bit of a pattern. I wore it 3 times. And then just a classic black crewneck jumper I also wore 3 times, which I'm not sure what I'm repeating because you kind of know already I wore this item 3 times. And now we're getting into color again, and this is the pile that I wore 4 times, and I have 6 items here. The first one, I have this really fun white jumper with unique sleeves. Then I have this really nice white hoodie, and because Index includes cardigans as tops, I also have this white long cardigan in here. And then I also have some colors in here. These are both the same design, just in different colors. This one is orange and this one is pink. Again, I wore both of them 4 times. And lastly, I have this black long cardigan that again, I wore 4 times. As I usually do, I want to have a little bit more space so you know exactly 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my most worn items are of course the neutrals, which is kind of no surprise here. First, I have this black long sleeve tee that I wore 5 times. Then I have this black and white check turtleneck that I wore 6 times. Then the very lovely black sleeveless turtleneck I also wore 6 times. This one I loved in the early fall. And then my most worn item by far is this sparkly black turtleneck that I wore 9 times. And now for the lessons, and yes, some of them are gonna be repeated from my last tracking videos, but that is just a confirmation that this really makes sense for me. The first one is that this number of tops is amazing for my lifestyle. In here I have 27 tops, and for me this is the perfect amount. It's not too much, it's not too little, and as you've seen, I didn't wear anything 0 times, which is amazing for me. And then the second lesson that I kind of know already, but I love my neutrals a lot more than my colors. I did have some colorful pieces in here, which is amazing, but most of the time I'm just gonna reach for my white colors, beige colors, or black. Also, I cannot really remember which tops I wore the most in my last full capsule wardrobe, but I just have a hunch that this time around I wore my fitted tops a lot more than usual. And I think it's because I added the new white jeans to my collection, and I also have some wider bottoms in my capsule wardrobe, and that's why I wanted to balance everything out. And then the biggest lesson out of all that I'm so excited to share with you, because this one is absolutely a life changer for me, and is that I finally realized why my transitional capsule wardrobe wasn't working for me. And that is because I owned a lot of in-between weather kind of pieces. If you watch this channel for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but pretty much I had loads of items that I could only wear in very specific weather situations because they had different cutouts or different materials, or they were kind of see-through, or they had some kind of lace pattern. I had loads of these items that I thought were really, really cool, but at the end of the day, I just couldn't style them in a way that it makes sense for me. And because the transitional season is all over the place weather-wise, I find that having pieces that I can easily layer, it's much better option for me. And yeah, this is probably my favorite lesson out of all, and I know some of you realize this as well, so I hope this can be helpful. If you live somewhere with 4 different seasons like I do, maybe this is why your transitional capsule wardrobe doesn't work. And then the last lesson that I'm kind of realizing now that I've been tracking my wardrobe for such a long time, and that is that every season is gonna be a little bit different. The weather is gonna be a little bit different, your mental state is gonna be a little bit different, your activities are gonna be a little bit different. So even though you may wear something loads in one season, there is no guarantee you're gonna wear it a lot in the next season, and that's absolutely fine. For me, I love all of these pieces on the clothing rack, and even though I wear some less than others, I don't need to declutter them because I know that maybe the next fall, or maybe in the winter or in the spring, I'm gonna reach for them a lot more. First, I have 2 items that I wore 0 times. This is my denim skirt, and these are my special occasion high-waisted pants that I recently cropped. And now we're jumping straight into 2 wears because all of these 5 items I wore twice. First, I have these white pants that are really nice with my sneakers. Then I have my black shorts. I have my high-waisted black mini skirt. And then another high-waisted skirt. This one is satin and in midi length. And then I also have black thermal leggings that I took out of the storage because it was really cold and I just wanted to wear them. Again, I want you to see 0, 2. And then if I continue, here I have my high-waisted dark wash jeans that I wore 3 times. My black trousers that are perfect wear with sneakers, I wore 4 times. The same goes for my faux leather pants. I wore this 4 times as well. And then my black high-waisted skinny jeans, I wore 6 times. And now to my most worn items. The first one that I have is the black mini skirt that I took out of my sport capsule wardrobe, and I absolutely adore that this fall because it's very comfortable and it also has shorts underneath. And this one I wore 9 times. The same goes for my medium wash skinny jeans. I wore this 9 times as well. And then can you guess what my most worn bottoms were? They were actually the new white jeans that I wore 25 times. These are obviously a clear winner, and obviously I hit a jackpot when I bought this. I feel so amazing in them. Now let's go through some lessons. The first very obvious lesson is that all of my white colored items are at the front because yeah, when it comes to fall or even winter, when it's raining and it's gloomy, I just don't want to get my white bottoms dirty. But the good news is that my white pants, at least I wore them 2 times this time around because usually they were at 0, so at least some progress. Then also have to admit, when it comes to my denim skirt, I forgot that I had it in my capsule wardrobe. For me, this is just such a spring and summer piece. I completely forgot about it. That's why I wore it 0 times. And then also my special occasion pants, because I had nowhere to go, I didn't wear them, but I did crop them. So I think in the future I can wear them a lot more, even if it's not for special occasions. So for now they're still at 0, but we're gonna see in the winter how that's gonna change. And then when it comes to the rest of my bottoms, what I realized, and this is a mistake that I did not just with my full capsule wardrobe, but pretty much in general with my style, is that when I loved something, I thought, okay, I love my high-waisted skinny jeans, now I have to have multiple versions of that. But then I almost always felt like I have the same kind of outfit over and over again. But because I added the white jeans to my collection, and also now I have my black mini skirt that I took out of my sport capsule wardrobe, I feel I have different silhouettes with my bottoms, and I just enjoyed my outfits a lot more because honestly, I felt that I could really dress up for how I was feeling that day. If I wanted to be super relaxed and casual and comfortable, I went with something like my white jeans. But then if I wanted to be super polished, maybe it was raining and I was wearing my over-the-knee boots, then I picked my skinny jeans. So I'm so happy I have more variety with my bottoms now. And lastly, when it comes to the number, here I have 14 pieces. And for me, this is probably the max that I could do, because as you've seen, some of them I didn't wear once, and most of them, I mean, here in the beginning, I wore 2 times. So in the future, when I'm building my capsule wardrobe, this is gonna be absolute my higher limit. This is gonna be very short and simple because I have only 3 dresses, three dresses to go through. And the first one is the turtleneck dress that I'm wearing today that I wore only once, which is today. And I have an empty hanger here. And then I have another dress that I only wore once, and is this black bodycon dress that is really nice. It's kind of a mini length. And then my most worn dress is this black sleeveless bodycon dress that I can definitely layer. Now, when it comes to the dresses, and I've talked about this before, but I know that I just don't wear them in the transitional season. That's why I only picked 3, because I kind of knew I'm not gonna wear them loads. And the main reason for that is that I find dresses a little bit hard to layer. And as I said before, the transitional season is all over the place when it comes to the weather. And for me, I just prefer to have my jeans or my cardigans or my tops that I can layer. I can have my camis underneath. I can do so much. I can layer as a little onion as much as I need to. But with dresses, this is a little bit harder. And yeah, this is kind of the main reason why I just don't reach for them. And that's why I also added a white shirt button-up dress on my wish list, because I feel this is the exception to the rule and it can be a perfect transitional dress. I haven't found it yet because I'm really picky, but I'm gonna continue looking, and I think that one can be amazing. But when it comes to the dresses in the transitional season, for me, it's okay if I don't have a lot of variety, and for me, having 3-4 dresses is more than enough. I'm gonna start with 2 items that I wore 0 times. The first one is my white fitted blazer, and the second one is my classic denim jacket. And then if I continue with my blazers, first I have these black blazers with gold buttons that I wore 1 time. The same goes for my black blazer with silver buttons. This one I also wore only once. And then the black blazer that I stole out of my husband's closet, this one I wore 4 times. And now to my coats. The first one that I have is actually a trench coat that it's already in storage, and I just want to climb on the chair and take it out. So we're just gonna have this empty hanger, and I'm gonna show you how it looks on the screen. But my trench coat I wore 9 times. Then my ivory coat that desperately needs some love and care, this one I wore 11 times. And then my faux fur coat I wore 14 times. And now, of course, to the winner, the coat that I keep raving about. This one is my black wool coat that I wore 30 times. So obviously a clear winner. Now, I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. I absolutely love my coat collection. As you see, I wear all of them a lot and I absolutely love them. But now when it comes to the blazers, I'm realizing I'm not wearing them as much as I used to. And I think the main reason for that is because I can realistically wear them only in the early fall. And because I also have loads of layering pieces for the early fall or my cardigans, my wear is kind of diluted. If I remember correctly, in the past I didn't have that many cardigans, and that's why I wore my blazers a lot more. But honestly, I still love all of my blazers. And also I think this fall I was mostly kind of working from home. I was really in a work mode. I was focusing on YouTube, producing videos, and I just really wanted to be comfortable. But maybe again, depending on the lifestyle, maybe the next fall I might wear the blazers a lot more. For me, these are a classic piece that I love and they're gonna stay. And now I still have my shoes, bags, and accessories to go through. But before I show you everything, of course, a quick reminder that if you're enjoying this video, that you give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. And also, I think we can do another emoji. So if you've come this far, leave me a graph, kind of a check emoji down below so I can know. You can pick your favorite, but something to do with tracking, and I'm gonna know. I'm gonna start with items that I only wore once, and I have 5 of them right here. The first one is this cute Leo scarf. Then I have the new stylish black baseball cap. And then I have 3 different belts, which is kind of surprising. I thought I wore my tan belt a lot more, but it is what it is. Here are the 3 belts. I have the white one with the gold buckle, the tan one that I just mentioned, and then the white one with the silver buckle. And I'm gonna put my least worn items right here in the back. That's why I wanted to film in here so you can see visually. And then I have 2 scarves that I wore only 2 times, and I do have more in my collection downstairs, but honestly I just put them in there because I had the space anyways. I remember in the past I almost never included scarves in my transitional capsule wardrobes, but for now I was like, let me put everything that I own in there and see how much I wear each item. So this time around I wore the camel one 2 times and the pink one 2 times, and that is only at the end of the fall when it was really cold. And then my black wool hat I wore 3 times, and this one I love when it's raining outside. It's really protecting my hair a lot. And then of course my black belts I wear all of the time. The one with the silver buckle I wore 13 times, and the gold one I wore 21 times. Honestly, there is nothing exciting or new that I learned this time around. I already knew that I don't wear my white belts a lot in the fall or in the winter because I don't wear my white bottoms a lot in the fall and in the winter. Then I also already knew that I don't wear my scarves a lot in the transitional season. And then I already knew that I love my black belt. So nothing special here, but I still wanted to share everything. And I also want to mention that the new baseball cap that I just added, I absolutely adore it. I feel so amazing when I wear it, but because it wasn't that sunny anyways, I didn't wear it a lot. Again, I'm gonna put my least worn items up here and then my most worn items up here. And the first I have this camera bag that I wore 0 times. Then when it comes to the bags that I wore only once, first I have this camel backpack. I have my very fun coral bag, and then I also have the black crossbody bag. I want you to see everything. How can I do this? So now we can continue with the bags that I wore a little bit more. First I have this Polen chalk mini bag that I wore 5 times. And then I have a new bag in my collection, which I'm gonna explain more in a second. But first I just wanna mention I wore this one 6 times and it's in this kind of taupe color. And then I have another bag that I'm gonna explain more soon, but it's this gorgeous black bag with silver hardware that I wore 8 times. Then my black Saint Laurent Lulu bag I wore 11 times. The same goes for my Parisa Wang pink bag. This one I also wore 11 times. And then to my most worn bags, the first one that I have is this Parisa Wang burgundy bag that I wore 15 times. And I'm not sure where to put it, maybe at the back, okay. And then my most worn bag, it's the tote bag from Polen that I wore 17 times. When it comes to the bags, there is so much that I've realized this year. I learned a lot more about myself and my style, and also I changed my relationship with minimalism, and that opened my eyes quite a lot when it comes to my style. And very simply put, there are 2 main lessons that I learned this year. The first one is that I can be really happy with a small main capsule wardrobe, so with my tops, bottoms, and dresses. I don't need to have loads of things in there, but when it comes to my bags and then also my shoes and sometimes even accessories, I want to have more variety. That's why I'm allowing myself to expand these collections a little bit more, and I'm going beyond the number that I had in the past, and I'm just kind of sitting with it and see how I feel. And then of course with tracking, I'm gonna see what makes sense for me and what is not working for me. And then the second thing, because of minimalism, I was really hyper focused on having the smallest collection possible, and I was always picking bags that were really simple and that had no noticeable hardware, because of course I wanted to have the bags that can do it all. But with hindsight, I'm realizing when I had a really simple outfit and I added a really simple bag, I just didn't feel like myself. Because these bags are still amazing, don't get me wrong, I still have them obviously. And when I have an outfit, a main outfit that is really statementy and I wanted to do the talking, then of course I'm gonna pair it with a really nice and simple bag. But then other times when I'm gonna have really simple basic outfit, then I want the handbag to do the talking. And that's why I allowed myself to add some really fun bags to my collection with really noticeable hardware. And honestly, they really feel like me, because this is the outfit combination that I prefer so much more. I feel so much better with simple outfit and then really nice accessories than the other way around. But pretty much this is a long story when it comes to my handbags. I'm realizing that I want to have more variety and that I want to have both the very simple bags and then also bags that feel like jewelry for my outfit. And of course, Bali had to join me, our quality control inspector. Yeah. You can barely see me, but that's okay because we're focusing on the shoes. And here I have 3 pairs that I wore 0 times. First, I have my black slingback heels, and here we go, everything in focus. And then my black ballerinas, again, I never wore these. And the same goes for my heeled over the knee boots. I just wasn't reaching for them. And on to the 3 items I wore only once. And it's funny because these are all light colored and all of the previous pairs were black. But here I have the nude ballerinas. I have my off-white combat snow boots. And then I have the flat over the knee toe boots. Then to the pair I wore 2 times, and these are my nude slingback heels. And now to the 2 pairs that I wore 4 times. First are these faux leather ankle booties, and then also the new kitten heels I also wore 4 times. I absolutely adore this. And then very close together, the 2 shoes that I wore 5 times. Here I have the black ankle booties, they're just a little bit lower in the heel, and then the very amazing black loafers. Then the nude loafers I wore 6 times, and I'm just gonna put them in the same row actually. And now to my most worn shoes. First I have my leather over the knee boots that I wore 13 times. My Ugg boots I also wore 13 times. And then of course my white sneakers are the winner. Again, no surprise here, and this I wore 30 times. As you can see, my collection expanded just a little bit, but that's okay because as I've said before, with my bags and with my shoes, I like to have a little bit more variety. But then at the same time, there is a possibility I will declutter something in the future, like my black ballerinas and then also my black over the knee boots. I just don't wear this enough, but for now I still want to give it a little bit of time. And then when it comes to the lessons, of course my flat shoes are in the front row. This is something that I wear all of the time. And then also now that I have just a little bit more of a kitten heel in my collection, I wear my heels a little bit more than usual. I don't think I have anything new to add here. As you can see, all of my shoes are in neutral color, which I absolutely love. And I love that they're simple, they're versatile, and yeah, this is my collection so far, and I think I really like it. Now, if you feel inspired to track your own wardrobe as well, I'm gonna link another tracking video here so you can watch it next. But I really hope this was helpful and useful, and if it was, of course, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I will see you next time.